No, they're never just bones. It's all part of history. It's all part of the world's history. The majority of people don't know we're here. The facility, it's custom made to build dinosaurs. My name is Peter May, and I build dinosaur skeletons for museums throughout the world. I'm the owner, president of Research Casting International. We have 50,000 square feet. We can handle the biggest skeletons in the world. T-Rex, mastodons, allosaurs. We've mounted and displayed and built right around 800 skeletons. In our back room, we have 50 skeletons sitting in crates. When the skeleton arrives, it'll be uncrated, unpacked, and then it'll go into the conservation department. It'll be cleaned and hardened, and any of the old consolidants removed, so it's nice and strong. When it comes to blacksmiths, they hammer out the armatures. Once all the armatures are done, then we go to mounting. All in all, there'll probably be about a crew of 10 that'll handle the fossils. We call ourselves the skeleton crew. We're doing a pair of skeletons right now, the dryptosaurs, and they're probably in one of the most dynamic poses you'll ever see. There's two dryptosaurs like leaping in the air, one on his back, one leaping down on top of it. We built the two big skeletons in the first movie, Jurassic Park, the rearing barosaur at the American Museum of Natural History. For the Smithsonian, we're helping them rebuild all their exhibits, all the fossil animal exhibits. Our job is to bring the old skeletons to life. I think when fossils arrive here, we become the caretaker. Nothing can happen to it. And every person who's handled along the way understands that responsibility. By the time it's finished, it comes out a much better fossil than when it arrived. When it goes on exhibit at the museum, it's going to last for another 100 years.
Pop quiz. You need some info on the Futalonctosaurus, the Barosuchus, and the Dicynodon. Where do you go?
Wikipedia.
Thanks, Nobumichi.
Oh, no problem.
How do we know what these prehistoric creatures looked like?
Lots of careful research and attention to details.
Wait, how do you know?
I draw them.
Wait, really, all of them?
Well, a lot of them.
This is Nobumichi Tamura.
Hello.
And he's got a pretty cool day job.
I'm working at the Advanced Light Source Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, and my job here is to take care of this machine, this microdiffraction end station.
The what?
Microdiffraction end station.
Ah. But it's at night and on weekends that Nobu channels this scientific know-how into his dinosaur drawings.
It's called paleo art.
My bad. Paleo art is an original artistic creation that depicts prehistoric life according to the latest research. Right, Nobu?
Exactly. It's a combination of science and creativity, so I basically read the latest discovery on prehistoric animals. Based on that, I draw them. This is what I've been doing for the last 8 years.
And Nobu's got a lot to show for it. By his estimate, he's published over 1,500 drawings, including some in this book that he co-authored. But it wasn't always smooth sailing.
The first drawing, that was one of a dinosaur called Chasmosaurus, but it was taken out by the editors because it wasn't accurate enough.
That's okay, Nobu. Can't bat 1,000.
Is that a baseball reference? I'm French.
I got it. Not every baguette can be perfect.
We're done here.
Wait.
Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Sally sells seashells by the seashore, and Sally was a real person.
This is Mary Anning. She sold rare invertebrate fossils by the seashore. Born in 1799, Mary was something exceptionally rare for a woman at the time. Possibly because as an infant, she was struck by lightning. No, she really was. She was a paleontologist, a fossil hunter, if you will. When she was 12, Mary dug up a 200-million-year-old marine reptile, the Edgeosaurus skeleton. Translation: she discovered the first complete fish lizard ever. Throughout her life, she discovered tons of fossils and sold rare invertebrates here, by the seashore of England's Jurassic coast. Unfortunately, Mary lived in a time where men ruled the roost, and many of them routinely took credit for her findings. But even though she might not have gotten the kudos she deserved while alive, she has gone down in history as the greatest fossilist the world ever knew. She was even selected as one of the 3 most important female scientists in Britain, and inspired a tongue twister that's one for the history books. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. No, weren't you listening? Mary sold fossils by the seashore.
Mucha gente me decía que estaba loco porque proteger animales que no valían la pena. Pero sí vale la pena, pues están evolucionados esos animales de ser unos animales prehistóricos, de ser de 20 metros de largo, ahora son 2 metros de largo. Entonces es algo que yo me siento de orgullo con esos animales. Mi nombre es Ramón Medina Archundia, soy propietario del Iguanario aquí en Manzanillo Centro. Con esos animales inicié hace 41 años. Yo me identifico con los animales más desprotegidos. La gente en ciertos momentos los utilizaba para consumo humano y para uso de pieles, cintos, zapatos, carteras. Las estaban extinguiendo a los animalitos. Desgraciadamente todavía hay gente que las mata por gusto. Trajimos pocas especies, en su momento trajimos unas 40 iguanas, de ahí se han ido reproduciendo en los 40 y tantos años que tenemos con ellas. En tiempo de calor, el animal come aproximadamente unos 300 kilos a 350 kilos de comida diario. Y en temporada de frío, el animal come muy poco porque entra en temporada de apareamiento, de reproducción. Son 2 ciclos de vida que llevan ellos. Mi familia me ha apoyado bastante a mí en este proyecto, que es muy difícil porque es de todos los días. No puede uno decir que hoy no voy a limpiar, no voy a darles de comer. Para mí son parte de mi familia. Me da lástima cuando se me muere algún animalito. Siento tristeza porque los animales son parte de mi vida. Las quiero, me quieren ellas también. Tenemos que rendirle cierto respeto a esos animales. No dejar que se extingan, que vayan a extinguirse los animales, que sigan ellos todavía produciéndose para que la gente y futuras generaciones vean esos animalitos.
We're an off-site facility of the Natural History Museum that's not open to the public. This is the skull of a humpback whale. Our collection of marine mammals is the 2nd largest collection in North America. This hole right here is where the eye would have been when it was still alive. We have approximately 5,000 specimens, and that includes dolphins, whales, seals, sea lions. I consider myself the current steward of the collection. I think of the term whale warehouse as kind of endearing. When people come to the warehouse, definitely I think the first thing that is noticed is the smell. It has a musty museum smell, but because of the marine mammals having a lot of oils and lipids, there's definitely a smell of rancid oils. We have jars filled with various kinds of specimens. Oh yeah, this is nice. These are eyeballs. Most people I've warned in advance that, this is what you need to understand the place is like. It's not a tourist attraction. The warehouse has several different functions, and one is to serve as a storage facility for the oversized specimens. But it's also the facility where we actually prepare new specimens. We're part of the National Marine Mammal Stranding Network. We respond to dead stranded marine mammals. And most of what we've learned about these species is a result of studying them closely. We have specimens that have been around for decades or even more. The collection really is of international significance. If you're a marine mammal researcher, you've probably been here. Some of the recent research includes things like global climate processes and how that has changed over time. I'm a scientist and I'm a little bit removed from the emotional aspect of things, but I still appreciate the majesty of these incredibly large, charismatic animals. And it's difficult to not be affected emotionally by the kinds of things that we're studying. Animals that are on the verge of extinction. What are we going to do about that?
For over 200 million years, these creatures have roamed the Earth, but now their future is uncertain. This is the American horseshoe crab. Found along the Atlantic coastline of North America, the American horseshoe crab spends the majority of its time in shallow waters, but comes to shore to mate. The crab has 10 eyes. The two most obvious ones are on the top of its shell, but the others are on the tail and near the mouth. Horseshoe crabs are harvested for their blood, which has helped prevent illnesses across the globe. But with the development of their natural habitat and over-harvesting, this once abundant animal has now seen such a rapid decline in numbers that they are considered a vulnerable species. This is the American horseshoe crab.